Welcome to the Letting Go live stream. This is our Course in Miracles series. Today we're on lesson 192. I have a function God would have me feel. So, what I have a function God would have me fill. Would have me fill. It is your Father's holy will that you complete Himself, and that your capital S self shall be His sacred Son, forever pure as He, of love created and in love preserved, extending love, creating in its name, forever one with God and with yourself. That's nice. Nice idea, right? I get to forever extend love, create in love's name. So, why would this be unwelcome or feared? There's only joy. There's only heaven. And as long as I'm still believing in hell and sin and guilt and shame and suffering, I will be denying myself and the world the joy of the loving function God would have me feel, have me fill. So let's just look at the opportunity we have here. The opportunity to forever be God's sacred Son and extend love and create in its name. Now, the only reason we're not doing that already is these illusions that we haven't let go of. And as you continue releasing, you'll find you naturally fall into your holy function, because it is all the errors all come from negative emotions. All the insanity and all the illusions come from perceiving what is as not what it is, because I've got a cloud of fear or a cloud of wanting approval or a cloud of anger or guilt over what is actually happening here. So to restore ourselves to conscious awareness of what we really are, we let go again and again and again until we naturally find ourselves in our holy function, in heaven. Heaven's all there is. That's the only thing that really exists. And that's tough if I'm still stuck in all these negative feelings. I can't see heaven because I'm seeing negative feelings. So let's release some of these feelings and just come to our holy function, which always is and always will be. The body, but a temporary learning tool while we're here, seemingly apart. Let's begin. I have a function God would have me fill. That function is to be His sacred Son, forever pure as He, of love created and in love preserved, extending love, creating in its name, forever, one with God and with yourself. So can you notice, is there any sense that that is to be feared? Being a pure being of love. Is that in some odd way dangerous? To just completely allow your oneness with God and your function that He would have you fill? Can you notice any resistance to being forever pure in love, extending love, and creating in its name? Any fear, any unworthiness, anything that comes up other than my job is just to forgive and to love? And could you allow that resistance up Not clinging to the illusion of the world, to this emotion. Could you simply welcome this emotion so it can leave? Welcome that resistance to your function. When we fight these feelings, they are made real. When we just welcome these feelings, they just dissolve in unreality. Could you just welcome any resistance to doing your function of extending love forever at one with God? And could you let that go? Would you let go of the resistance and be your function, an extension of love at one with God and with yourself? When could you let go of that function, that non function, that resisting your function, and just extend love? You never have to, it's just a choice. Could you let go of resisting the function God would have you fill? Hmm. And you have a function God would have you fill, to be his sacred son, to complete himself, to be forever pure, creating in the name of love, extending love. So when you're not doing that, it's probably because it looks like there's a body there and it's done something wrong. And this is why forgiveness is part of your function. So, what would have you hold back your function, not do your function, except some idea that someone, even yourself, is not worthy of love? It's not worthy of the grace and love of God. So, could you notice any resistance to forgiving someone or yourself? Any feeling other than loving someone or yourself is the resistance to forgiving. Could you allow yourself to feel that feeling? Images may pop to mind. Could you let them drift by and just let this cloud of darkness, of negativity, start to dissolve as you bring your light to it? Feel that feeling. Could you feel it more? Just allowing that feeling to dissipate as you finally give it a chance to leave. Could you release anything other than loving your neighbor and yourself, doing your function, being that? Would you release this resistance to your function, any feeling other than love for your neighbor and yourself as one? When could you release this feeling that's other than love, that is forgiveness? Because you have a function here that God would have you fill. Mm. And it's a very happy function. It brings peace and love to the world. As in heaven, so on earth. That's your job. That's your function. Reminding us all that only heaven is here. It's all that exists. So, will you be the love of heaven? Why wouldn't we do this already? Well, there's some idea that somebody has sinned and is guilty and needs to be punished. I'm angry with them. So, could you notice, and it might even be yourself, that you have been holding, binding with some false concept of sin or error? Could you notice any resisting to forgiving anyone and extending them love, including yourself? Resistance to being in heaven on earth. And it's okay. We've all been caught up in this illusion. So, without stacking guilt, judgment, could you just notice this feeling other than love that would have you withhold love or forgiveness from someone or yourself? It's very beneficial for this to come up. When we've been fighting these feelings and get stuck, we claim that is here instead of heaven, instead of love. Could you just welcome this feeling so it can leave? It will dissolve if you bring it to light, if you let it up, if you just feel it, stay with it. This feeling other than love for your neighbor or yourself. Same thing, really. And could you just allow this feeling, the immediate feeling that you're feeling right now, to dissolve as you just sit with it? Notice it. And could you surrender this feeling other than love? Just turn it over to the Holy Spirit, to God, Christ, the universe. You just turn over this feeling that is not your function here. This feeling is not your function. Could you surrender it? Would you surrender it if you could and restore heaven to your conscious awareness? When could you surrender this feeling other than love? Forgive yourself, forgive the seeming other, and extend love as is your only function. You have a function that God would have you fill. You have a very holy function that divine will says, complete myself, be forever of love, created in love, extending love, at one with God and with yourself. Now, can you notice, where would you deny love from the world by the appearances of something your body did or another body did? Oh, I can't extend love there. They did that. I did that. No, no, we should forever punish ourselves and them. Well, this is what the ego would have you do and seeks to find that in the world as much as it can. Could you notice the feeling of wanting to withhold love, deny love from someone in the world, maybe even yourself? It's called unforgiveness, unforgivable, an illusion, and yet it can seem real. Can you notice that feeling? And could you let the stories the mind would tell about why they're unforgivable or you're unforgivable just drift by, not follow those stories that aren't even true? And could you just notice this feeling of hatred and attack or whatever it is that would have you not fulfill your function? Could you let it be just a feeling without making right or wrong of it? Just a feeling, and just bring it to light. Just feeling it. That is letting it go. Would you feel it some more? There's nothing to fear in a feeling that doesn't exist. When we fear it or when we resist the feeling, it stays stuck. We make it real. Could you just allow it to move? Just a feeling, just letting it go. Could you let it go? And get back to extending love where before you were holding it back. Would you let go of this feeling other than love, no longer denying your function? When could you let go of denying your function? Just let go of this feeling other than love. It's that simple. You'll find yourself quite naturally being what you are when you let go of what you are not, which is negativity, hatred, attack, guilt, sin. When you let go of this, you will naturally be fulfilling your function. It's actually the easiest thing you'll ever do because it's all you're here to do. So, your holy function here is to forgive. Now, there's really nothing to forgive, but when I'm believing in this illusion, it seems like there's something to forgive. And so, it's just a gateway to release myself from what isn't real. So, today, could you hold nobody prisoner to this illusion? So take somebody who you've chained up. No, no, you're bad, you're wrong, and it could even be yourself. You need to be punished. I'm going to stay angry at you so I can punish you. Take anyone you've made a prisoner. And could you begin to release them instead of bind them, freeing them and yourself by noticing this feeling other than love? Could you allow that feeling up and let the thoughts scroll by without clicking subscribe? And just feel this feeling that would bind you and them to an illusion. Could be wanting to control them, hate, anger. Could be guilt, projected or internalized. What if it was just a feeling and that was the only thing binding you and them? Could you welcome that feeling? And as you welcome it, the binding unravels. It's discovered it's not even real. Could you just welcome this feeling? Allow it up. Bringing it to light, enlightening this feeling, enlightening yourself. Could you release the bind, this feeling, from your brother and yourself? Would you release this feeling? If you could, set them free, set yourself free. Fire yourself as jailer. When could you release yourself and your brother and be made free? Free to do your function, which is to love. And you have a function that God would have you fill. Being at one with Him, His sacred Son, created of love, extending love, preserved in love. And could you notice anywhere you're denying somebody or yourself the mercy of love, the patience of love? Which of your brothers or yourself would you deny mercy, patience, love, compassion? And it's okay without guilting yourself more or judging it, making right or wrong of it. Could you just notice the feeling that would have you deny mercy to your brother? Not wanting to punish them, control them, change them. Could you just notice it's just a feeling that's blocking your sight of heaven? Could you allow that feeling up so it can go? It's the holding on to these feelings or fighting them that keeps them stuck. Could you allow this feeling so it can go? Could you just surrender? Turn this feeling over to God, for it will instantly or rather quickly dissolve, for it does not exist in God. Could you surrender this feeling and turn it over to Him, your Father? Give up punishment for mercy. And you don't have to, and there could be more of this feeling. Could you just keep surrendering? And as you go through the day today, could you notice if you're making prisoners of anyone with negative feelings and thoughts? And could you release them instead of bind them, freeing them and yourself? Just notice the feeling without being like, feeling. Like, oh, just a feeling. This feeling has me bound and has them bound. Could I let it go? Every time, the way is really simple. Every time you feel a stab of anger, realize that you have a sword above your head, and it will fall or be averted as you choose to release this negative feeling and those thoughts or hold on to them. So notice that all these people who seem to be tempting you to be angry, they're representing your opportunity for salvation from the prison house of death. And it's so simple. It's so easy. Could I just release that? Could I just release this thing that's not my function that God would have me fill? Could I not value what is valueless? Because these people out there are the Son of God, as you. Could you be merciful today? Could you accept the way to freedom today? Could you show him, your brother, your sister, same thing, his Father's love for him as it belongs to you? Your function here on earth is only to forgive them, that you may accept them back as at one with you, at one with God the Father, his son, daughter, same thing. Forgive them now. Forgive them their sins, and you will see that you are one with your brother and one with God, and you will even see heaven on earth. You have a function God would have you fill. Could you let go of the jobs of illusion you've given yourself? Well done, releasing. Thanks so much for being on the stream.